Morning, everyone. Well, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, agenda confirmation. Do we have any additions or subtractions to the agenda?
Yes, we have a few. Mr. Chair, I'd like to add items for IT to replace production and recovery Dell servers, and also an item for IT.
Where do you want to add?
Yeah.
You could add it probably on last topic under me.
Sounds good. We'll add it to number 5.
Yeah, number 5. And then also for IT, an additional air conditioning unit in the server room. And then I just got a note from Mary from Auditor Treasurer, and she'd like to add Wildflower Golf Course tobacco license.
So we will do that.
Carrie, I believe we had also talked at finance of pulling the credit card policy.
Yes, I'm going to get to
Oh,
the, I'm
sorry.
going to get to the polls.
So
and all
we're-
the ads.
Sorry.
Where should we add the
Thought you were done.
tobacco? Should we just add that to the other list?
Yes.
In the consent agenda?
You can't add it.
We
You
can't
can't
add it to the consent agenda. So
I think you're going to have to add it, and Mary will have to speak
Yeah.
to it.
Put it under commissioners, number 4,
yeah, we can do that.
auditor, tobacco license.
Yep, we'll do that.
So those are my additions. Then I have a couple of requests to pull items under human resources for the auditor treasurer job descriptions. I would like to have that item pulled. There's just a few items that came to light after this was vetted through committee. So I would expect that'll come back our next meeting.
Okay.
And then also a similar circumstance with the credit card policy, as we spoke about that in finance, there was some
Yep.
adjustments that we would like to make prior to finalizing that as well.
Is there any other additions or subtractions to the agenda?
I don't have anything further.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, motion by Erica, second by Barry. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, minutes from October 7th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, or changes to the minutes?
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
page 2 of 3, under budgeting work session, it says at 8:30 at highway, the highway building maybe. We don't know which highway we'd be at. We didn't have.
In the middle of the highway.
That's pretty minimal. But on 2 of 3, under motion to approve the abatements, I would like it listed that they were abatements from the state. They weren't the local abatements. So I don't know, Mary, what's the wordage on that? What, pardon me?
Tax court.
Tax court.
Abatements. So they weren't county abatements, they were state tax court abatements.
Is any other?
I didn't have.
I just had one question on page 2 of 3 under report, the third bullet point. Is that big sugar bush or was it little sugar bush?
Big.
It's big, okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's,
Mr. Chair, I don't know if I think I forgot my notes on that, but I think the Lake Agassiz Regional Library, I think it's 80% number of transactions, not card, not card holders. It's transactions, not card holders. In
The formula.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was.
I thought it was
cardholders.
card
I thought it was card holders.
I thought it was too.
Just was at the meeting and I forgot that paper. I thought I brought it with, but it's really not that important, but just,
I can listen back to the meeting and see what she said.
yeah, just, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I thought it was transactions.
Okay.
So we can
I
just,
think she said card hold, maybe said card holder.
I think she did.
I think she did say
The card
It's
holders.
transaction. You can just leave it
Okay.
Okay.
like that, but I believe it's transactions.
Good.
Any other additions or corrections? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Erica, second by Phil. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, consent agenda. Are there any items in the consent agenda that anybody would like to remove? Or pull, I'm sorry. All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion approved.
Motion by Barry, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Erica. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Commissioners, open forum. Do we have anybody on the open forum list? Sweet. Okay, so Megan, we have you on the agenda, so is that okay? Okay, perfect. All right. Let's move on to reports and correspondence. Who would like to go first?
I can go first. We had housing and EDA. We discussed the housing contract at length at our EDA meeting. MMCDC did provide a bit of a breakdown about how their employees' time is spent on Becker County housing. It had always previously been the equivalent of 2 FTEs, and now they're saying it is an equivalent of 2.6 FTEs. So I don't know that we necessarily came to a conclusion, other than some of the board were more apprehensive about not going with the contract just due to it is now October, and we don't have anybody in place, and they don't want to go into bringing housing back in without a transition. So one thing we did ask for MMC to consider is a 6-month contract. Also at EDA, we are waiting for 2 more bids. I believe we had talked about this a couple months ago in our report, that we have to do some lead paint testing on 13 of our public housing units. We're waiting for the final confirmation on the number of the houses that will require it. It's any houses built prior to 1978. Again, it's a requirement by HUD. We can't get out of it. It's always been a requirement apparently, but Becker County has always had a variance because there was no one in the area doing the testing. Now there's a couple of vendors, so we are waiting for, I believe it was 1 or possibly 2 other vendors to provide a bid. The one bid that we did get, it was for right at $53,000 to test the 13 homes. This is a reimbursable expense for the capital funds. We have about $65,000 in that. But then that also means that there are some other projects that would maybe not get done. Like I think we had planned maybe for roof, flooring, that kind of stuff. So while we have the money for that, we may not get other projects done. And then the only other thing I have for EDA is we are putting a request for bid for comprehensive property owners insurance, which I believe it'll be effective January 1st. I don't know when the request for a bid is due, or will be posted.
Quote.
Yeah, quote.
Comprehensive bid quote for what in property?
Property for all of our,
For all of your property, all
of
of
the,
EDA's property?
yep, the public housing.
They're not through MCIT?
No, I don't think they can be. I believe we've looked.
Yeah, I don't.
I believe we looked, but I don't think we can.
Yeah, I'm
with them
not
on
sure why.
MCIT.
I think we can't either, because we didn't even discuss that, but.
Yeah, I think we did before, maybe we did at housing.
Oh.
But anything else for EDA?
No, it's just that we should just paint those houses.
I mean, if that was all it
Very
took,
expensive to test for this paint or for this lead paint, and then they're gonna say, well, you have to paint them.
that's the solution if they find
Yeah.
lead
Or we
is
could just,
painted.
but we can't do that, but that's what,
We still have to have them tested because they've never been tested before. So
I don't know, it's
we
not,
tried talking our way out of it, but.
we've been trying to get out of it, but I guess we can't get out of it.
Yeah. I also had West Central Regional Juvenile Center. Our numbers for secure placement continue to trend down, which will eventually affect our 2-year look back for our portion of the budget. I believe that we'll discuss that again in July. There's also a lot of discussion at the meeting about the statute change that is effective August 1st of 26, which increases the delinquency age to, I believe it's 12, which was previously 10. So what that means is that children ages 10 to 12 will now be referred to child protection. And I did just talk with Denise a little bit at finance on, and also plan to bring it up at our next human services meeting, as this could that impact, their workload. According to West Central, it's about 5% of their population, 5% of the kids that come into the secure unit, but it does vary from county to county. So we don't have an exact number of what it would mean, and I'm not sure that that's also the right path, but I don't make the rules.
And I think the question is, it might be the right path for some, but now you're going to get some of these very mature. I mean, they're adults. They're size-wise and strength-wise, it's near adults, and they're combative. If they are combative, then it's a dangerous situation. So I mean, I think there should be some exemptions that or a way to file exemptions on some that are.
Yeah.
Wasn't that something they were looking at? Because isn't Minnesota one of the only states that have done this that don't have an exemption?
I'm not sure about that.
I thought I saw that somewhere, but
I'm not sure. One other thing, they did also provide a handout of all the services that are provided, if anybody's interested in it. Because of all of those services that they offer in their secure unit, they really have sparked they're a popular choice among non-members because kids can come and actually get services. And non-members are what keeps our member rates low. So we had Partnership for Health. We just had a meeting in preparation for splitting from Wilkin and Ottertail County the first of the year. After the first of the year, it'll just be Clay and Becker. We set up meetings for the rest of the year and approved the bylaws, joint powers agreement, and delegation agreement, and also reviewed the MDH governance change timeline, which we are in line with.
and so that resolution will come to the board.
In December, I think. Yep.
Who's leading Partnership for Health now?
So it's going to be co-administrators from Becker County and Clay County.
But Clay County's.
Yeah, that's why we're doing co. What was his name?
I don't remember.
Patrick Hollister?
No, it wasn't. No, he's for the partner. He's not the. I can't remember who it is. I know it's a horrible way to say it. I can't remember his name, but.
This is my first meeting, so.
We are going to have co-administrators, and then once
January comes,
then we're going to decide who is in charge, who the administrator of the partners of the CHP will be.
Because it's official in January.
Correct.
Yeah.
But as of right now, in the interim, we have co-administrators.
I also met with some constituents on Friday regarding wake boats. Two were from Big Sugar Bush, one from Pickle Lake. Both, according to the U of M study, both lakes would not be appropriate for wake surfing. They provided maps of the lakes, including depths and lengths. So again, they're not looking to ban boats, just wake surfing. I did advise that they reach out to all the individuals, all the commissioners individually to gauge if there would be board sport prior to them putting a lot of work into an ordinance. So then my last meeting, I had human services. Everything's on the agenda, except for I just wanted to give a shout out to the income maintenance unit. They received a 95% or higher certificate for Q2 for their timeliness, which only 8 out of the 87 counties achieved. So that was pretty good. And then just a note, if the government shutdown continues through November, there will not be sufficient funds to issue November SNAP funds. So that will likely just have a huge impact on our local food shelf. That's all I have.
Phil and I had actually a planning and zoning advisory committee last night. We talked and we solved the problem on blight property, so we don't have to go there.
Good. Glad to hear that.
It's all done?
Oh,
Fixed
good.
it?
Did you clean them all up already?
Yeah, we issued orders. So obviously, blight properties is a very difficult, there's a very fine line between property rights and what's considered a blight property to, what we kind of are zeroing in on is kind of a committee to go out to investigate or view a property and try to offer help, but we would try to consist someone of mental health or community health, a commissioner from the district that it's in. Carrie volunteered. She said she would be the, but you'd have zoning. And the other thing is, we thought this was a environmental, there's some environmental concerns. So, I mean, we looked at a couple of examples and what some people think is a blighted property. I think the committee said that's not blight. There's some garbage there. It's not kept up well, but I mean, it's not something that the county is going to go in and try to monitor. But then there's another one that was just scattered with everything, and now everyone agreed that is something that needs to be.
Is that the one by the river?
Yes. So I think as we get guidelines, I think it's gonna have to be case by case. Obviously, if it's in the middle of a 40 in the pine trees, no one sees it, it's not a concern. But I think mental health is one of the issues, and what I think is if you go and do all this work, and if you don't include mental health, and we go to court to try to enforce it, and there's no addressing the mental health issues, it's not going to go anywhere anyway. So I mean, I think you gotta offer help and solutions at the front end right away.
Yep.
Instead of trying to escalate it, let's try to see if we can offer help and try to get something resolved.
So is there a difference between mental health and drug abuse? How does that?
No, drug abuse actually is criminal, and in the ordinance currently, there's a criminal activity that is also considered nuisance, that we could consider as a nuisance. So that would be a totally different. There's a lot of nuisance ordinances, like in the cities, in bigger cities, that deal with, they call nuisance is illegal activities is a nuisance also, and they have some process, and we could incorporate that. But we're going to have a little committee, Phil and I and Steve, and I think we're going to try to get someone from mental health and try to get a smaller committee to try to determine how to address these and what criteria and what's the level of escalation type of thing. So that's where we're at on that.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Nelson, what I came away with after an hour of talking and getting pretty much nothing done, we just kept talking over, it comes down to two things. What is the process? We have a process, but what we were more talking about, what is the threshold? Where does a property become a blighted or nuisance property? And that seemed to be in the eyes of the beholder, and that's
And I don't
what
know
we
that
had
you
to-
can, I don't know that you can like write that down on a piece of paper.
correct. You
What is
can't.
blighted?
But
No.
you have to be fair to everyone. So one person's blight is another person's
Yep.
treasure. So that was what I took
I think
away
that's
from
why
the
if you
meeting.
take a committee out, you look at a site and you start listing the items
Yep.
of concern and health and safety.
Yep.
And that's where
Environmental concerns.
and mental health. And I think that's where, is it visible from the road? Is it visible to the neighbors? Is it a health concern? I mean, you have all these questions and you answer them, and it's some, and this will escalate it if you get this. There's lots of work left to do, but I think that's the route. You have to look at it individually. You can't.
Yeah, I concur.
I mean, I know of some that I don't want, anyone trying to push items. I mean, they're doing okay, and that's, if they don't mind it, then that neighbors shouldn't mind it either. So,
Yep.
but
The ones that I've seen are, the ones that concern me are so extreme that I feel like there's not going to be a big problem deciding, but.
right.
So our conclusion came down to, okay, is it a solid waste issue? Is there garbage there? And then can we soothe the situation? Can we help the situation rather than go in and lay down the law and say you have to or else? Is there ways we can help? Bring a dumpster out, whatever. There's issues with that too, but
Yeah,
that's kind of where that's the direction we were headed, right,
Yeah,
Barry?
yeah. And, in some of these cases, we might offer county assistance. I mean, we haven't discussed that, but I'm open to, because these are bad and they're complex. And if we just displace someone from their home, then we're just throwing them into another place that's going to have problems. So And I don't think anyone's gonna take advantage of if we try to help clean up your yard. If you're involved, pollution control, the county commissioner, the mental health. I mean, if you're having all these people, no one's gonna try, oh, a free dumpster if I, but
Yeah.
then you have numerous meetings and all these agencies coming to your place. That's not something anyone's gonna want to happen.
And the reality is many of these places wouldn't be able to do it on their own.
Yeah.
You know, to whether they had the resources to do it or just the mental capacity to be able to actually clean it up where they're going to need that extra assistance.
But I think we're all on the same page here. We're only looking at the extreme
Correct, yeah.
problems that we have, so. And the other thing, we talked just briefly about wind and solar power farms and transmission lines. Knowing that once they get to a certain point, I think the Minnesota PUC dictates the rules on that, so we didn't get into that very much at all. Anything else to add to ordinance, Phil?
No.
I had we had a library meeting, a finance meeting, and the big issue was discussing the request. I'll just give you a brief overview and we can discuss it more at when we have our next budget meeting, but they did go through, and I've got some literature to show where we are because Jamie, the financial expert from Laurel, who's been there longer and I've been commissioner, broke it down in cost, in the cost basis for charging. And we are paying more than our share, but it's not nearly what I thought we would be. And there's one county that's underpaying considerably, that's not Clay County. So, I mean, I think I would like us to try to transition or to bring that component in for our next year's budget. So we'll have to discuss how much of that, how we're going to contribute for this year. But if you do the financial end, and because we are basically supplementing the Becker County users at the Detroit Lakes Library also. But if you went straight off the usage, we would be overpaying by $30,000, which isn't nearly what I thought it would be. I thought we were overpaying quite a bit more. So if you go by that formula, we are overpaying. If you go by, there's formulas are formulas. You can get them higher or low, but that one seems to be a little bit.
So just one question, Commissioner Nelson. So we're overpaying by does that just count
For that formula.
Is that formula just count our 3 satellite sites, or does that count
No,
Detroit Lakes too?
counts, Detroit Lakes is separate, but we have card users that are using it that are not in Detroit Lakes city limits. They're out in the rural, and they come into Detroit Lakes and use it. So those members are counted as Becker County users,
Okay.
not within the city limits.
So does that mean they are using the card users for part of this equation then? Or is it?
Even in the cash, or what's the word I'm using for? The actual cost for the library, so the employees so they use the amount of transactions for Becker County, for the Detroit Lakes, and throughout the whole system. And we were overpaying, if you go by those numbers, the cash, what it costs for us, and those are all in that, and I mean, it's 2 pages. We would be overpaying by $30,000. Clay County is actually overpaying by $6,000, and then I think most of the rest are underpaying a little bit. I think City of Detroit Lakes was overpaying a little bit too. So it's very interesting. When we have that budget work time, I think we can look at that a little closer, and then as we move forward, we can say we would like, and they were very agreed, it was a really good meeting because everyone opened their eyes a little bit. Oh, we didn't realize this. And I think it's Polk County, which has got all kinds of small little libraries, is really getting the bargain. And I think we want to balance this out a little bit. So, but we'll have to discuss we'll discuss it more at our finance. Rich and I had natural resources. I think, what did we decide to reject all bids on the building? We're going to keep the building. We had to pay to get rid of it, and we're not willing to do that. We think there's usage for it.
What building?
Pelican Watershed building.
Oh,
Sorry, at Dunton Locks.
Yep.
So we're going to keep that there.
What were we recently talking about that could use that?
Well,
Did the
we have
sheriff's
lots of,
department?
we have lots of uses for it. I mean, for just,
So, Mr. Chair, Commissioner, we put out a bid to see if anyone would
Would
pay
buy
to
it.
take that away,
Yeah.
and we didn't get any,
we got bids, but they were us paying them. to
Yeah,
take it
demo
out.
bids.
no.
So we rejected those and said,
Okay.
we'll keep it. We're gonna put in, we're putting in a request for a grant to pave that in front of that and we'll just do angle parking in there. And I think that should do 10, 12 spots
Okay.
anyway, 2 each side, and then if for winter storage, we can still use the building for different.
Is it movable?
Well, it's a pole building, so you take the tin off,
You'd have
pull
to
the
take it
poles.
down,
I mean, you could certainly move it.
because it's really tall too, so. And it's really hard to move one like that, but.
We had the trail routing final study, but we said that should be brought to full board. We didn't need to see it at the committee level, so that'll be a full board presentation, I think, first meeting it's coming up anyway. The trail routing study. The swim beach, the DNR removed rebar and and now we're looking at making improvement through Soil and Water is going to look at making some enhancements out
At
there.
Osage?
Yes.
At Osage.
Sorry. We're seeking Partnership for Health's seeking funding for trail construction. The 2029 funding allocation of 620, 230 would be 800, requires 20% local match. So Steve said, consider bringing letter of intent with more information on the November 4th board meeting. Let's do the number 6. Little Sugarbush Lake parcel cabin. There's a cabin up there that needs access, and we're just going to grant an easement, a non-exclusive easement right on his road. White Earth Resource interested in collaborating on this area. Oh, that's the cabin. Sorry, that was the cabin. But White Earth is looking at collaborating on that and working with us too. Anything to add on that, Richard?
No, they just want to help maybe mow the lawn and
We,
upkeep it a little bit, so.
there's a nice cabin there, but I mean, I don't know what to do with it.
That was the property that I went and talked to, because we talked about that property at
Yeah.
the RAC committee.
Extensively, yeah.
And I went and
quite a bit.
talked to the town board, and there was some community members that were there. There was mixed support for making it more of a public access
Yeah.
swimming beach.
I think if we make it just a public swim beach, I think there'll be some usage, but I don't think it's going to be overly used. I just think it's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not the best beach.
I have not
I've heard it's
seen
not,
it, but
it's nice swimming, but it's not a sand bottom.
And one of the issues on that lake right now is that they're swimming at the access. So
The
it's
yeah.
an issue with boats coming in and
it's a
out.
safety issue,
Yeah.
yeah. Which was why a large
Yeah.
number of the people were supportive of
Yeah.
making that a swim beach.
No. We discussed the STS leader, just like we did at our regular meeting. I was thinking about, we also had an easement from an individual that needed to get access to his property, and it's just coming off a power line road easement, so it's just another little jaunt up there. We discussed the policy or the cabin, Lakeshore Rec cabin leases, and allowing people on to have the list or contact list from us because they can't find anyone that they want. They have a cabin, they want to rent it out or sell it to the new lease owner, but they haven't found anyone on their list. So we are going to call, or Mitch is going to call the lease holders on the list and then see if they want to have their number. They can try to work out something like that. Right?
Yep.
All right. We had some land sales, some parcels for land sales, not a whole lot, but there's a few of them going on. If you want the list, I do have a list of them here. If anyone wants to look.
No, thank you.
Okay. There's nothing, there's some couple in Audubon, they're scattered all. Anything else?
Well, they're moving forward on that Rat Lake cell tower, so we're gonna get another cell tower up there.
That'll be nice.
And then,
Forest Road maintenance map?
we got, They did set a record on that wild rice, 320,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a lot of wild rice.
We're gonna, putting in for that grant, part of it is looking at remodeling the old facility, the shelter at
Just out at
Dunlocks.
Dunlocks.
There's a couple, and this is from a student at M-State threw these together. I suggested we not have so much enclosed area, just a shorter closed area. This is a match. What was the match on this one? Was it 75-25 or 50-50? I can't remember on the. And we kind of put a dollar limit that we're not putting a lot of money into this, so.
I thought it was 50-50. I can't remember.
Can we use some of those donations for the part of the match too? Probably.
Oh, Steve was gonna look in if we could do in-kind,
Okay.
but,
Yeah.
I think that was it for. I had one other meeting, I can't, got a paper here.
I think you had a courthouse.
Oh, we had courthouse, but everything's on the agenda for courthouse, I believe. Thank you.
All right. Who would like to go next?
Mr. Chair, I will. I had recreational, you know what, before I start, I think it might be nice, or at least consider this. You know, we go through our reports and correspondence, and then we come back to it. Just like Barry said, we're going to come back to it later. I wonder if we did our reports as we do the action items? Would that help so we don't have to come back to it later?
Come back to what?
Well, so we do our reports, we'd list all human services, highway, we'd list everything out. We would do our report as we do our actions.
I think if it's an action item, there's no, like courthouse, I didn't report on anything because everything's on the agenda. We will discuss it then if there's any question.
Okay, I've just noticed that I report on stuff, and then it comes back again later in the meeting.
Here's what I would like. Don't report on it if it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Don't report on it
If it's
If
on the
it's on the
agenda.
agenda, you can just not, just
And,
eliminate
you know, if
it.
there's questions then, or you want
That's
to.
fair. I'm just looking a way to
Mhm.
speed it up or make it more.
Mhm.
Okay, I had Recreational Advisory Commission. We had the snowmobile associations come in just to say what they're doing for the year. I'm going to ask you a little trivia question. How many miles of snowmobile trails do we have in Becker County? Dave, you can't
I
answer.
can't answer this one if they don't.
You can guesstimate.
I'm never very good at this guessing game.
428.
Good job, 400.
Well, that was pretty close.
I was
Very
gonna
good.
say 315.
Well, I just looked back in my little brain and I thought,
I have a
pick the
big
number. I don't know.
We got 4 snowmobile associations, about 400 miles of trails. Becky Mitchell also came in from the Historical Association and talked about if we're going to do any pictures or anything down at Dunlocks, like of the history there. We had a conversation about branding stuff in Becker County using QR codes or something. It was just a preliminary discussion, but if we ever do that or want to do that, and then move that on down to Bucks Mills, we'd want the same color pattern. We want it all to kind of look the same. Has not been developed yet what that would look like, but we did have that discussion. We also talked about the big sugar bush, the house out there. What do? We talked about moving it. We talked about selling it. We talked about tearing it down ad nauseum. And we never came up with a.
You can actually take them apart, most of them. There's some value in that.
I mean, that's a log house.
It's a log house and that you can actually take them apart. And I don't know, we've talked about what to do with it. I don't know what you do with it. I don't want it to rot there. That's for sure.
Well, that's what's happening each time we kick the can down the road. It's a little work. We talked about maybe getting somebody in there who could run a little campsite. I mean, housing is an issue in the county. Could we use that housing there for our benefit? So, I mean, we talked about a lot of things, but, so, and we kicked the can down the road too.
We did.
On the 15th, they had watershed. The MOU with the county is effective as when it was signed, so that should be effective now, the MOU with the watershed. Airport, so you guys approved, or we approved, two projects. The taxiway is finished. It was a seal coat mill overlay there. That's finished. We also did we approved an apron reconstruction. That'll happen in 2026. So one of the 2 projects is done that we approved. Heartland Trail, me and Dave had the Heartland Trail study, that $550,000. Jim was there as well. There were some overage from the Frazee Trail, so we had to decide what it could be used for and where we were going to use it. So we decided to use it on the Dunton Locks to Bucks Mills Trail. Also, kind of came to our attention that the Frazee Trail, which was just done this summer, is not ADA compliant. So it's off an inch in places, and it's not meeting some thresholds. So that was quite disappointing to hear.
Is that because of the contractor
We're still working on that, I
Okay.
guess, to figure out what, but I mean, it's a trail.
It's very
Trail on that side.
minimal and it's on the edges. So it's kind of ridiculous.
But
And it's required to be ADA compliant for.
It's got to be a certain grade or what, Jim, you just,
The cross slopes can't be any greater than 2.
yeah,
And then they measured out on the quarter foot, there were
2.1%.
2.5. Still extreme. We'll work through it, try and get a resolution.
so we might have to take some of the money from that leftover money from the Bucks Mills that we want to use in the Bucks Mills Trail for engineering and use on this to fix this, but we don't know the depth of the problem yet.
Wouldn't you
So-
can't you just grind it?
It's got to be added.
Grind the middle.
Yeah, but we're looking at an overlay. It's really a constructability, it's hard to do. I mean, if the roller goes over too far, you could push it down. They got gravel trucks running on it, to do the shouldering and stuff, that could have helped it. We're gonna kind of let it settle over the winter, see what happens.
Any mud jacking?
Same thing.
Can mud jack the edges up a little? Cut the middle and
Could be, yeah.
edge.
Everything costs money, though, and that's got to
Yeah,
come
but
out.
another overlay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's what we're trying to figure out. So, anyway, so then on the 15th, we also had that C&D construction demolition study. They're doing that grant study where you have a lot of Zoom meetings. So thank you guys for filling out that mission, values, and goals. That was really helpful moving forward with that group, that 10 county group. Barry talked about the zoning ordinance review committee, the blighted property. We kind of talked about that. And then I had Steve, since in our work session, we talked about, we talked about our STS program and Roger and the ICWIC program and all that. So I had Steve, I said, what would it cost if we didn't have the ICWIC program out at solid waste or at our MRF? What would that cost? And so he said, the cost now is about $325,000 if he breaks down what the ICWIC portion is. He said if we had to hire full-time employees, county employees, it'd be about $580,000. So it'd be about $250,000 additionally. I mean, we can't let that MRF stop. I mean, we gotta be doing the recycling. So he thought that's what it would cost if we had to hire employees to do that. That was his best guess. So about
Plus, I think
$250,000 more.
We get revenue in the jail.
We do. So there's some cross-department stuff that's going on too. Correct. So, and then you have to always ask the question, what's the county benefit? What is the benefit to society? There's rehab you're giving people some rehab,
I
so.
don't know that the benefit at the jail is as great as you think because it's a lot more work.
Yep.
To
Yes.
do these
Yep.
ICWIC.
Correct.
And if you could get, I mean, Sheriff Schlander here, but if you could get federal inmates instead of these, you would have the cash flow and not the workload.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's not necessarily a benefit to the, I mean,
jail.
it depends.
Well, and that's what I heard Chris say a little bit too. So, I mean, I was just curious. So I had Steve run some quick numbers. So that's what he found out, just at a quick
And that
overview.
dollar amount, I mean, what would that add to your tipping fees?
Well,
I mean,
we'd have to pay for it somehow.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be tipping fees or recycle expense.
Correct. That's how we'd have to pay for it, correct. Yep. And also, just one other thing came up, with everything that happened out at the MRF and stuff, Roger still needs a backup, correct?
Yep.
We still do not have a backup for, we have to keep working towards that
I thought
as
we had a
well.
plan for that.
Well,
Yes, we were working on, if you recall, in the sheriff's committee, as they're hiring correctional officers, that was going to
Yes.
be the
Yeah.
backup potentially. Originally, we had talked about the STS crew backing up the ICWIC, but we don't currently have that position currently. But
unfortunately, they're
we're looking
short.
at other things, yes.
We're short correctional officers, so they don't have enough to.
Well, and so as you think about this issue, trying to find an additional correctional officer, which we don't have enough, do we bite the bullet and do this and just get people up at the MRF? And I mean, that's just something to consider. Not now, but going down the road. And that's all I had.
The only other thing is I had NRM with Barry and Human Services with Erica. And Erica, I'm just gonna mention, and I should have had better notes on this, that timeliness certificate, that we were 8 out of 87 counties. We were 95%, so thank you, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, I have a few, but I'll go fast. I got 3 minutes.
Not really, because we have an appointment.
Well, that's okay. So, RAC committee, I went for Erica, and Phil covered everything pretty good in there. I also had a DAC meeting. We talked about this a little before, the swing set grant that the DAC got that we supported. They're checking out what we can do with that, where they're going to put stuff, what kind of swings we're going to get. But it's going to be more kind of I don't want to say a playground, but an adult activity area with the ADA swings. So it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. But they just finished union negotiations yesterday, so they have a tentative agreement, so that's cool. And one thing that they are also looking at the DAC is to train all of the staff in CPR. So I think that's a good thing. And we're also we're having one of our board members try to follow around the managers for probably about a month or so, just so that because we need to eventually hire an executive director. So we're trying to figure out what exactly do we need for an executive director and how we're going to do it. So we're going to do this. We have gone through 2 now in the last few years, and we need to make sure we get the right person. So I think it'll be good. I also had the West Central Economic Development Board. I'll just pick the one thing that was interesting in that meeting is Anthony, I got this right, Schaffenhauser works for the Minnesota Department of Deed, which is the Department of Employment and Economic Development, and he did an AI study. He's an analyst for them, so he's likes all that stuff.
Likes the data.
Yes, and anyway, so in our district, which is District 4, which is the same as our EMC district. We have basically what AI will affect admin, clerical, customer service, transportation, software development. It also will affect agriculture and manufacturing, but not right now. It's very limited in that. I mean, obviously there's AI stuff in there, but as far as continuing to get to the point where AI runs the whole manufacturing agriculture is far away. So Becker County, because we are mostly manufacturing and agriculture, we are the second lowest in our district, or in District 4 as AI affecting our county development, basically. Anyway, interesting question. Why are colleges seeing less people going to college? What is the number one reason?
People are getting dumber.
Cost is ineffective. Dumber.
Make more money.
Make more money, just like in a 2-year degree or going right to work. Those are all part of it. The number one reason is we have less 18-year-olds that live in Minnesota. Population, demographics. Yep, that's the number one reason. But the other ones are affected too. All right, I had a fair board meeting last night.
When did we start doing these quizzes?
Well, Phil started
Come
it.
up with your own quiz.
No, you guys are taking up my time. Come on. Okay, so they had their annual meeting last night, which annual Ag Society meeting. Anyway, they elected new officers, or the same officers actually, and then they had 2 new members. So Ryan Swanson is going to be a member of the Fair Board, and Mike Ulmer, who was a past member, is going to become a member again. They were pleased with the way the fair went this year, considering they had to compete with the East Otter Tail Fair in Perham. So, but they are going to in the next meetings to come, they're going to work on making the fair better, especially the derbies and what they can do to do some of these other improvements. So,
Mr. Chair, did
yeah.
they come up with what were the numbers? What were the
So they
from last year?
So they with all of the stuff they spent They bought those new bleachers. They spent $104,000 on new bleachers. And so basically the fair, with all of that they spent on, there was a negative 45,000, but actually not
With a big
because
capital expense.
they had a capital expense, correct. They were pleased, like basically the rodeo broke even. And that's what they want. They want everything they don't want to lose money on it. So they did okay. The attendance was down, especially for the derbies.
How much? What is normal? I mean, I have no clue.
So the
What is normal attendance?
We talked about that at the previous meeting. What was it?
No, I don't think we talked about I don't know that they said any numbers.
I don't think they
I
didn't
think
say
they just
any
said
numbers.
attendance was down.
Yeah.
I don't know that they keep track of
9 o'clock.
numbers.
Yeah, all right.
If they know it's down, they must know what the attendance
Well, I mean, I
numbers
think
are.
sometimes just
I'm not.
by sales of everything and everything else. So I'm not sure how they came up with
But
it.
I'll find out. And then Travis Schauer is going to come in soon and give us a report on the fair. I talked to him about that last night.
great.
So, all right, the next meeting I had this yesterday also was Dancing Sky. I'll just go really quick. The Nutrition Services Incorporated, which is the company that does most of their meals, obviously the price of food has gone up, right? Yeah. So they're coming up with ways where they can cut costs, maybe get more donations. They're going to expand their grant writing to try to get more funding. They just don't want to raise the prices yet, so they want to find other ways they can generate more revenue. They're also going to try to reach out to Head Starts and more adult centers to help, generate revenue to create, meals for them. They also had a pilot program they did this year. It's a waiver. Wait a minute, no, hold on. It's called the Wraparound Services for Adult Protection, the WRAPS program, and we did do it here at Becker County. Now, it wasn't a huge, large, there wasn't a lot of participation because it was brand new, but it was also only 4 of the AAAs did this. And basically what it is it offers immediate assistance to vulnerable adults. So they have to be in adult protection, they have to be identified by the county. The county has to refer them to this. And then some of those services would be like, let's say you have a hoarder house. They will, and sometimes it's a process to get help for people. So they can do it faster and immediate. The whole idea is these people are identified and recommended within 60 days they want to help this problem. Some people might be kicked out of their house. They have no place to live, so they'll help them figure this out, or they need to get a ramp up to their wheelchair ramp up, or whatever they need. Maybe they ran out of money and they need a little assistance right away, but they're vulnerable. They're already classified, or already not, I don't want to say classified, but already identified as a vulnerable adult, so they're going to help them. Erica covered the Partnership for Health. Phil covered the Heartland Trail. Historical Society, last one. I'm almost going to make it. I'm 1 minute over, dang it. The Butterfly Odyssey is now ready to go view at the museum. It's an interactive display, so you can interactively figure. It's pretty. I think it's pretty cool. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's cool. Also, too, if you noticed at the community center and the museum, you notice those wildflowers that are in the boulevard. They're not wildflowers anymore. They're bad. So
What does that mean?
that means I don't know. The city's going to figure. They're weeds now.
Like
they're
a
not.
noxious weed?
No. They're just. They're not.
I think he's saying the city is not accepting their beneficial.
Yes. So the city's gonna do something about it. I don't know what they're gonna do, but
But there's a flower on them?
no, they're
flower on 'em?
they're almost all dead.
Mr. Chair, that's
Was there
a,
a flower on them
Well,
at one time?
they're wildflower. They're like if you go out to Wildflower, that wild grass and stuff they have out there.
Don't we have to ask the bees and the butterflies if they're using them?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
I don't know. We just call everything weeds now and we spray it.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna try something. And then the last thing is the interesting thing that showed up to possibly do is there's a Paul Bunyan lumberjack show where they do crosscut sawing, and they have races and they axe throw, they chop stuff. Anyway, they do chainsaw carving and they do log rolling. They do like 3 shows a day for a 2-day period, and they'll come to your place and they'll do them, like, maybe they could do it at the fairgrounds or whatever. It's an option, something that could generate some revenue for the museum.
Is the museum doing a haunted walk or ranch or anything?
I haven't heard anything. I don't know.
Are they?
Are
Megan
they?
says they are.
Why do I not have that on here?
You would have thought you would have,
Crazy's doing that haunted trail also.
that was last weekend.
Oh, was?
Where are they going, Megan? Yeah, that's okay. I think they're gonna do a haunted house in the museum, yes, correct.
Gotcha.
All right, that's all I have. I'm done. See, that wasn't too bad.
10
All right.
minutes.
Almost the
It
longest.
was nine,
Oh.
it was not the longest 9-minute, 3-minute thing. All right, let's move on. Anybody else have any more reports? All right, let's move on to appointments.
Yeah, so I have one appointment for my district representative on the Planning Commission, District 1. It was an unusual amount of interest. We had 4 people that showed interest in the Planning Commission, which is unusual for that committee. Usually the commissioners are out seeking people to join. So I believe Nancy Bachman, who is the Silverleaf Township Clerk, will be a great fit. So I'm recommending her to be appointed. Her and her husband have a dairy farm in Frazee. She has a drafting business. They were the 2018 U of M Farm Family of the Year. So anyways, that's my recommendation, Nancy Bachman. Do you want to know the other 3 names?
No.
No.
Well, I think this is kind of your decision, who you're going to nominate, so that, but usually, now this is, sometimes we do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes, it's nice though to have a little bio from the person that you want to appoint, but it's not necessary, but it's kind of helpful for the rest of us to kind of get a better feel of what we're, but if was that a motion that you made, or are
That
you
was a
going?
motion, yep, for me
Okay.
to recommend
Nancy Bachman.
Nancy Bachman.
You want to make a motion to appoint?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to appoint Nancy Bachman to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carries. All right, Mary, would you come up and present the tobacco license?
Good morning, Commissioners. I have received an application after the packet had gone out for Wildflower Golf Course, Lake Eunice Township. These tobacco licenses run from October 31st through November of 2026.
You have a resolution number?
Not for tobacco.
Okay.
I have a well, we'll do this one first.
Motion to approve the renewal of the wildflower tobacco license?
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Wildflower Golf Course.
Yeah, well, we have a motion by Barry, second by Phil. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries.
Okay, I just want to clarify that on the license list, it did include Resolution 1025-2B, Humane Society of the Lakes for a premise permit at Forest Hills 19 Hole in Audubon Township.
Yep.
Yep.
That was a question? Okay.
Yeah, because it's not on the agenda.
Huh?
It's not on the agenda.
It was, yeah, it's in the consent agenda.
It's in the consent.
Okay.
It's in the packet.
It's in here. It says,
Yes, I had it, but on the agenda, the resolution isn't listed separately, it just says
It is.
licenses.
Yep, 1025
Yep,
2B,
it's right
Gambling
after.
Humane Society
Yep.
at Forest Hills.
I have the wrong agenda.
Thanks, Barry. All right, Carrie, can we go right?
You want to go to?
Yes, let's go, yep. Let's go right with the Megan Eastman. If you could come up and present your local improvement program. Thank you. Just state your name and who you are and why you're here.
All right, good morning, Becker.
Good morning.
My name is Megan Eastman. I am the clerk for the city of Audubon, and I have with me here John.
Yep, John Pana, More Engineering.
So we are here to ask commissioners to sign a letter of support for the local road improvement program. We have a couple streets in Audubon that we are seeking some grant funding for, and I'll let John kind of tell you about it.
Yeah, sure. So a few years ago, the city of Audubon also applied for this LRIP program. It's 3rd Street, which is directly east of the elementary school in Audubon. It connects to 2 county roadways, ultimately. County Road 144, which is Falcon Street, south of the school, and then it wraps up around by Team Industries, Plover Street, back into County Road 13. When the school did their remodeling a few years ago, that street got beat up pretty bad back there. It's a high traffic road for Audubon because of the school. And also there's a park, they put some money into a park just east of the school there. So we feel this is a very good project, especially for a small community that fits this grant program. Ultimately, the city's going to need the county's support and to be a sponsor if they're successful. So at a future meeting, if you guys are, on board here, we would present the resolution, get it through Jim Olson, just to make sure everybody's on board to be a sponsor for this program, because the city of Audubon cannot, administer these funds on their own since they're not a state aid community. So we'll be looking for the full amount. They can apply for up to $1.5 million. Anything over that amount, we're working on funding packages to cover their overages. We're in a good position. We'd also be looking to replace the utilities under that street at that same time, so it'd be a big benefit to that community to get this project done, so.
Just a question, Jim. I know in 28, we are planning to do 144, paving 144? Is that correct?
The gravel portion.
Yep. So I'm just curious if the timing would work. It might be a good project to commingle so you get better pricing on it too. If everything works right on it. But, so yeah, we're in 27. I think we are looking at doing a grading on kind of some prep work for that pavement on 144, and then in 28 do the paving on it. So that'll be a nice benefit for Audubon, nice benefit for me to go to the landfill also.
Nice benefit.
So Barry, you wanna
anybody
make
that
this-
wants to go around this town in the summertime.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
doesn't want- It's good, it would be a big benefit to have that road done.
What did you have?
So do we need a motion and to approve the support letter, or what are you
Yes.
looking for? Okay.
Yes, that's.
Richard, that's your district. Is that
I'd
Richard's
make a
district?
motion to approve that support letter.
All right, so we have a motion by Richard. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Phil. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for point of clarification, we can certainly sign off on this letter, and then do you want us to get the letter to you?
That would be great. Yeah, and I can get it on to John. We're collecting them from community, from our.
I assume there was you were collecting from, okay,
Yeah.
yes, just,
I think, just to be fair, I think we are supporting, I don't know if it's going to be the same year, but we are going to be supporting other projects with applying for the same monies. Is that correct, Jim? We anticipate?
This letter probably goes a little bit above and beyond, which is good, but we will have to provide a resolution of support as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we'll be supporting other projects.
I think there are a few other ones.
I think one of them is maybe the Township of Audubon is looking at improving a road, and then we were looking at swapping that road by Forest Hills.
Yep.
Yeah, the city's really just looking to get, part of the application process are letters of support on top of just the typical required application. So
Yep.
we're going a little bit above and beyond, asking you guys, asking state reps, businesses.
I just wanted to make
school
sure that there are numerous ones out that
Yeah,
we
it's
do
not, you're not
support.
exclusive. It's open to small towns and townships.
We
I
do
think.
support other ones, but this is a very good project, so
Yeah.
hopefully you're successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Carrie, let's move on with your stuff.
all right, thank you, Mr. Chair. You have in your packet a resolution with regards to the homeless prevention aid that our county has received. And just a little bit of background on this particular aid, just for your information. This aid was created by the legislature in 2021, so we have received funding, and we went through a process with a committee, and the initial awarded amounts, or the initial year was awarded since I've been here to Mahubi. And the purpose of this local homeless prevention aid is to target minor children that are homeless and or families. So the recommendation, and basically through the committee, was to award the next 2 years of funding, which is 24 and 25, the allocation that our county has received to Mahubi. We did put out an RFP this summer, asking, again, to do our due diligence to see if there was any other agencies that could benefit from this funding, and there was no other response other than Mahubi. So with that, also I had asked Mahubi to be here just to give some information about their work and that they do. They weren't able to attend today, so I just wanted to briefly give you some of their information. They talked about in Detroit Lakes that they had served 60, within Detroit Lakes, 60 families. Lake Park was 21. Frazee District, this is homeless children within the district, the school districts. Frazee was 4, Ogama was 3, and the total for Becker County was roughly 88. So they are doing very good work. One stat that really stuck out to me when I spoke to them was, I was really asking the question because their programming really is to do case management services with the family, not just, put them in housing and walk away and, good luck to them, but really doing the support services. So I really wanted to know the success of that. And I was quite impressed, actually. What they talked about is there was a service period of measurement from September of 24 to September of 25. And there was 132 total served in Becker County, and the retention rate of those individuals that they assisted in different programming to get stable housing after or through that year of measurement, 97% maintained housing. So I thought that was pretty astounding. So what they're doing is working. So the recommendation from the committee.
Is that juvenile set or the family?
The criteria here would be, well, she said individuals, so.
I mean, it's a little,
It is confused, and I'm just going off her information, Gene.
But numbers are difficult to understand when you don't know if is that 97% just the youth minors have?
I think they're measuring by youth, and that's the criteria, because you have to have a minor that's attending not public school, but
High school.
Yeah, high school, through high school.
And just if everyone remembers, I think it was just about a year ago now that they expanded the definition of homelessness
Homelessness, yes.
for youth. So
That's been more than a year ago.
Has it been a while?
It's been a while ago.
So they've been, if you are,
Not living with a biological parent, you're considered homeless.
yes, even if you're living with,
That's
even if.
disingenuous to say that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a choice in some cases.
I
Now,
don't
there's
think
a
it's
lot of-
that not a biological parent. You don't have stable housing, like you're couch hopping or living with grandma and grandpa, you are technically still considered homeless.
Correct.
But if you go and stay with,
Much different than somebody living in their car.
right.
Yes.
But the definition expanded, so if you're a minor and you go and live somewhere else for a week and then move back with your parents, you're homeless, still homeless for that year. So
Well, and when we talk about definitions, when I go back and look at the definitions that we're targeting with this funding, it's living in overcrowded conditions in their current housing, paying more than 50% of their income for rent, lacking a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. So, wondering where you're going to go for the next night, the instability of that. So.
And this funding is really to prevent homelessness. So it's what can the agency do to not just find them housing, but also to keep them in the housing that they have.
I think it's a good project and a good fund, and I think Mahubiaba recognizes the ones that need it more,
Yes.
and the ones that, there are situations that are more extreme and situations that are less, and I'm sure they identify that.
And Mahubi has really great like, they take a whole family approach, and they really try to help the family to move upward, right? Not just maintain, they want to help them to do whatever they can do to move upward, higher paying jobs or whatever, so that they,
I mean, I just want to point out that those numbers, I mean, those numbers are vague. Those homeless minors are, that's scary.
It is scary.
But knowing that some of those are still some of them are in pretty stable places still, but some of them are not. I mean, it's.
stable homes, maybe not stable environments.
Right. So it's a serious problem, and just think what that how that affects those students in school. You know, you wonder why there's some kids have issues, and when they're more worried about where they're going to sleep or where they're going to eat, it's a little more concerning than if they're going to get a C or a D on a test. So it's a significant problem, and it would be nice to have Mahuvi out here sometime to give a little bit more detail, because I think their work is really important. I mean,
I can ask them.
I'm
Yep,
on the board.
and I did ask them, and they were trying to get here, and then they had other commitments. It came up, fairly quickly here, so.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I would agree. I think.
I would
it'd be
like
nice.
to tell them thank you and
Yes.
for the work that they do, because it's much needed. So
That being said, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 1025 2C.
All right, so we have a motion to approve 2C by Erica. Do we have a second?
second.
Second by Barry. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, Carrie.
I was asked just to bring forward the request by the EDA. On behalf of the Tower Road Industrial Park expansion here in Detroit Lakes, Cody was asked to write a letter of support for that, and they will be applying for funding. So I just wanted to make I don't know if there's questions. I just said I would bring that up in my report, and I do have a copy of the letter if you'd like to see it.
Is that in our packet, Carrie?
It wasn't, I got it after.
So that's just
It's just a
the
letter.
Becker County EDA supporting the Detroit Lakes Development Authority?
Yes.
You want a motion?
I don't. I was just bringing it for information. Commissioner Hanson and I started our Leading with Purpose through the state and that training, and we're finding that it's a lot of hours and a lot of homework, but it will be good, short-lived, and we'll hopefully come away
That
better
started
leaders.
yesterday, didn't it?
It did. The kickoff was yesterday. Starting this week, there's also the state and tribal relations training that will begin up in Monoman, and Commissioner Hanson will be attending, as well as Steve Skoog and Jim Olson on behalf of Becker County. A reminder that we have the district meeting in Fergus Falls, I believe it's October 31st, Halloween.
8 to noon.
Yep, and I'm started to plan, and I had reached out to Jim Olson with regards to our road tour November 5th, which you all are aware, and I'll put together, I believe that's on an off week, or it's not on a board day.
Wednesday, I
So,
think.
so yes, so I will put together some times at work, and you'll hear later about some buses that we have down, so we'll have to talk about what our transportation mode might be, so. The last item that I have is the resolution 2A. I'd asked our veteran services to come and speak about this, but they are in mandatory training, and they really wanted this to move forward because they'd like to have it for a longer period of time and through veteran services. So if you recall, we have participated in this in the past, and the green lights represent our our individuals that have served in the military and our appreciation for what they have done for all of us. So I would request a motion to approve 2A.
So
I'll
do we,
move to approve Resolution 1025 2A.
so we have a motion by Phil. Do we have a
Second.
second? Second by Barry. Do we have any discussion?
I just want to read the resolve just so people understand
Yeah.
that with designation as a green light for Veterans County, Becker County hereby declares from October 24th through November 24th, 2025, a time to salute and honor the service and sacrifices for our men and women in uniform transitioning from active service. Therefore, be it further. So you'll see green lights, right? And
Yep.
so when people see green lights, that's what they're for. So.
Yep. So we have, any more discussion? Okay, so all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, let's move on to Judy, IT.
Good morning.
Morning, Judy.
Morning, Judy.
I'm bringing forth two things today. One is for the servers that we've talked about a couple of times. We currently have that scheduled for funding in the Special General Fund. This is to replace what really run the majority of our software products here. It runs IFS, it runs pretty much everything that people use except for the Microsoft stuff, which runs in a cloud. That's why we were not affected by the Amazon outage yesterday, because all of our stuff runs here. So it runs our website and everything else. And our initial estimate was going to be $100,000. It's coming in at $84,128, and that includes for servers and for some help to get this all installed. Are there any questions?
What's the life expectancy of these servers?
About 6 years, between 5 and 6 years. We're at a little more than 6 years right now.
Okay. And it came in cheaper, so
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve
To approve
the
the
server purchase.
server for 84,128.
128.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by Barry, a second by Phil. Do we have any more discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Judy, so you said this should last for about 6 years. Do we have a capital fund? Do you have are you preparing for 6 years from now?
I have I would say yes. I have a 5-year plan for IT and kind of our expenditures on some of this larger things, like something that I think I've mentioned that we budgeted for next year would be to do something with what's called our Gallagher system, which has to do with our badging system. We have to do stuff every so often. So I have what I would call, I've earmarked certain funds for every year, and I try to make it about the same every year. With this particular thing, because it's so much, we use Special General because I hadn't been here to kind of make sure we had enough money to do this per year. So I'm trying to do that, and I'm happy to share that with you, Phil, anytime you'd like to see it.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yep, so we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, Judy, next
Okay.
item.
The next item is, we've had 2 instances where the air conditioner in the data room has failed. That's our main air conditioner, and when that fails, it makes, and that's in the last 14 months. When that main data system, or that main, gosh, I'm having trouble today. When the air conditioner in the main data room fails, what happens, automatically equipment shuts off when it gets too hot. So what happens is we have, because nobody's here during that period of time, we have systems that are down. So this for about 14,966, I would like to put in a second air conditioner in the data room. And so they both run at the same time. So if one fails, the other one would just automatically take over. And we're also planning to put in a monitor so that we would at least have somebody that would get paged, so that we would at least know that one of them is down, so it could be resolved the next day. Any questions on that? And this would also come out of special general funding, which then puts our.
So she had a cost savings that she just spent.
So that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's right.
correct.
So, all right, so for special general, we would be at $99,094.
I think Judy showed us that if in the last 2 instances, when they go down, the amount of hours that are lost for workers quickly overshadows.
Yeah,
the payment.
I think what I told you is, and I picked 100 people because I felt that we were probably, with all the people using PCs, that the 100 people it was an estimate of 4 hours per incident, that's 8 hours. So if you do 100 people at just $20 an hour, it's a $16,000 bill for the 2 times we've done it, that we've just been non-productive for those periods of time. Now, I believe that managers and department heads and supervisors have their people doing things that you don't have to do with computers, like filing and that kind of stuff, but I still think it impacts our work, like DMV and all those kinds of things.
Well, I would assume too, though, I mean, the equipment shuts off automatically when it gets
Yes.
hot, but I mean, even at that point, you don't want it, I
No.
mean, nobody wants to get it to a point where it's automatically shutting off. 'Cause I
Right.
think you're starting to do damage to the
I
equipment.
would say, I would agree with
I
that.
mean, you're shortening the
100%.
life of that anyway.
Absolutely.
We did suggest opening a window in wintertime, but because this run, I mean,
Yeah.
they throw off so much heat
A
that,
lot of heat, yeah.
and no way to utilize that or capture that other than cool it down.
So do we have a motion to approve the expenditure through the special general fund for the air conditioning unit for $14,966?
So moved.
All right, so motion by Barry, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Erica, do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, motion carries. So she saved $6.
Thanks, Judy.
Thanks, Judy.
Have a coffee.
next time.
We'll get a coffee. Someone.
All right, so let's go move on to Denise and Human Services.
Right on schedule. Look at that.
I know.
To the minute.
To the minute.
This doesn't happen very often.
Never. Yeah, if you guys want to come up too, please. Not that I didn't introduce you, but. Hey, Amanda, I do have a question that doesn't relate to anything you're talking about. Who, I couldn't remember the name of, when we, at the Partnership for Health, we approved you and who else as the co-administrators
County
for the
rep?
interim?
Rory.
Rory.
Beal.
Rory Beal, okay. There, see? I got my question. All right, go ahead, Denise.
All right, the first item we have for you is the public health donation. The public health has private donation funds that they'd like to donate to the Becker County Food Pantry in the amount of $10,000.
What is a private, explain that a little bit.
So it
Private
was
funds? A private
yep,
donation
private
that's coming
donation.
through from someone and they just donate it through?
Donated to
So it's not taxpayer money?
public health, correct.
Okay.
It is not.
Motion to approve.
All right, so motion by Barry, second by Phil. Do we have any more discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, if it's all right, I'd like to present number 3 first.
Sure.
Just because I think there's going to be a little bit more discussion
Yep.
in the number 2. So it's the Liberty University Affiliation Agreement, and it allows us to have a master's level intern. This intern would be starting in January 19th through August 22nd. And there is one change that I wanted to report to you. The information that you have in the packet, there's one change to the agreement, and that's number 15. Let me get to it here. It has to do with the
It's on
state.
page 24. in
Says
fact.
with the laws of Commonwealth. of
Governing law,
Virginia.
yep. It did say the Commonwealth of Virginia. We, through county attorney, sorry, he approved it and asked if we couldn't list that as the state of Minnesota would be the governing law, and they agreed to that change, so we are making that change. So with your approval, it would be with the state of Minnesota governing that agreement.
I'll move to approve that agreement
Okay, with the change from,
with the change
To Minnesota.
with Minnesota law from Virginia law
okay.
with Liberty University.
So we have a motion by Phil and a second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, Denise, we'll go back to
All
number
right.
16.
One last item we have for you is the UCare Medica Care Coordination recommendation. I have Emma Wortman here, Adult Services Supervisor, and Amanda Kumpala, Public Health Supervisor. This involves both of their units, and together with them and their staff, they came up with there was a problem that we found a solution for. So we'd like to tell you about that.
We like solutions.
Yeah.
Especially when I see it's saving money.
Yeah.
Right? Well, good morning. So as Denise said, you have a 2-page document. We spent quite a bit of time really kind of looking at and keeping a close tab on the upcoming changes, not only with our health plans that we provide care coordination for. In adult services, my staff does the over 65 care coordination for individuals on UCare, Medica, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, and this does not impact Blue Cross Blue Shield. And Amanda?
And we have SMBC, so we have under 65 disabled population on UCare and Medica in public health.
Yeah, so then we kind of outlined some legislative and contract changes in the next section. Amanda and I are both very involved in the disability services, Min Choices, a lot of other programs. And there were some significant changes coming in 2026 for a lot of those programs. If we'll remember, there was a proposal to cost shift a bunch of money to the counties under disability waivers. So we were watching that, and then this care coordination stuff started to come to light, and a lot of changes came for 2026. Specifically for U-Care, which is the larger, you'll see the membership identified, and we identify that all together. So we currently have approximately 115 Medica members that we serve and about 392 U-Care members. The projected numbers starting in 2026, you'll see go to 85 and 280, and both of those are projected to go lower because of the product changes that will go in 2026.
And U-Care also has enrollments frozen for two of the products that we have in public health for SMBC.
Right, so if individuals go off, they don't do their paperwork, they will not be able to go back on. So that's where that kind of knowing that the numbers are going to go down. So then we took and looked at the staffing and cost projections for 2026. It's currently 4.5 FTE across both of our units. We outlined that. We outlined the 2025 year-to-date revenue for both plans, and then we outlined the 2026 budgeted revenue that we did before all of the U-Care and Medica changes rolled out. Then the changes rolled out, so we have updated our new projected 2026 care coordination revenue. You'll see that number there at about 506,399. The projected 2026 cost for those 4.5 FTE leaves us at a deficit of about 79,000 and potentially even more than that to continue to do care coordination. We note that care coordination is not a mandated service. It's something that Becker County has done for a long time, and most of our neighboring counties do it as well. But the plans also provide care coordination. Locally, Essentia Health does some care coordination. So we think it's important to note that these individuals will continue to have care coordination. It just wouldn't be done through human services. Starting in 2026, it is just no longer profitable for us to do, and the mandated, the increase in all the mandated services has grown and will grow even more in 2026. Page 2, we start talking about unmet needs, and that's where we look at kind of all across both of our units with the Min Choices and the disability waivers. We outline some of those changes that are coming. Do you want any details on those changes, or are you pretty much up to date on those?
Are the Min Choice assessment changes affected, are those new for 2026?
Yes.
Yeah,
There's a couple of them that will go into the 20-day timeline for Min Choices. So Min Choices is the assessment that individuals use to access basically any service, whether you're elderly or you're a child. If you're looking for PCA services, which is now a different title, funding for nursing homes, disability waiver services to stay in your home, it's really a universal tool. And we do lots of those, and those are mandated. We are mandated to be out there within 20 days to start that assessment. That's almost impossible to reach, and many counties have extensive wait lists. We do a pretty good job in there, but some of the changes that are coming are more around, there will be a dashboard that will be posted that will identify each county, how many referrals you've had, how many were accepted for assessment, how many times were we out of compliance within the 20 days. So that will be posted a couple times a year, a little report card for us. We've got an increase we're anticipating about a 30% increase in Min Choices, because we get those referrals not just for social service programs. There are a lot of people that receive assessments who end up, they're not eligible for our funding, But through the assessment, they receive referrals to maybe some programs that they can private pay that they maybe didn't know about. Or families can become educated on, through the assessment, for their loved one, especially the elderly that may be looking at nursing homes in the future, kind of what to expect and when to do the different steps, because it's very complicated. There is some talk, this is not fully implemented yet, but potentially a fine to the counties for every day that you're out of compliance. Again, that has not fully implemented, but it is on the table, a $250 a day fine. What other?
The increased oversight to the disability waivers.
Yeah, that is a big one. Number two, the increased oversight. So that 5% cost share that was originally proposed to shift to the counties for all individuals on disability waivers that are in group homes or assisted livings, so you're 55 and under population. We had done an estimate on that when that proposal first came out, and for Becker County alone, based on our numbers right now, that would have been about $900,000. That was avoided during this legislative session, but there was significant oversight put on human services to attempt to decrease the growth of the disability waiver. So our case managers and us as supervisors, we're going to have to be heavily involved in approving service agreements, making sure that providers are really doing what they're saying that they're doing. Kind of additional partners in ensuring there is a reduction in fraud. And so we'll have to do those things.
Protection referrals.
Adult protection referrals, those have gone up significantly. There's also some new things there, performance measures, mandated plans, just additional work there. You want to talk a little bit about the PCA to CFSS transition? That's pretty significant in timing.
Yes, so previously when somebody went on a state plan, just for PCA, personal care assistant services, we completed the assessment and said you're eligible for state plan, and we didn't have to do anything after that. They were just on state plan PCA services. That is now changed to a CFSS, Community First Services and Supports. So now we have to do the assessment and case manage them and make sure they get their consultation service and get an approved plan and follow up to make sure that consultation service is done. And if it's not done within 6 months, we are allowed to extend it one more time for 6-month period. But we have about 95 of those cases now that we have to case manage. So on our case managers, they have their waiver clients plus these CFSS clients that we're managing.
So, Mr. Chair, so we talk about unfunded mandates, them not funding the work that our employees have to do. Here's a shift of the state's not going to do it anymore. That's a shift we don't talk about very much. We talk about the money. You're having to do the work that was normally done by the state. So that's, I think, one of the first times I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's been part of the shift. I mean, that's what we,
Well, I was always thinking financial shift.
work.
It's both.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, in, nearly 30 years, I would say this is one of the biggest shifts of multiple responsibilities across multiple programs at the same time. I mean, it's big this year, or will be, which was also kind of like, how are we going to do all this work? We knew there's just no way. So then we move on and we take a peek at the proposed reassignment. We identify what would we do with those 4.5 FTE if we did not do care coordination? So we took those needs and then we kind of move that into the next section. And we break down the different, areas where people would go and the estimated increased revenue by being able to do a better job and do all the requirements, because that is all funded. We then come with an estimated revenue of $785,000. And if we take the cost of those staff, this proposal brings us to about a $200,000 surplus as opposed to the $80,000 deficit. So our recommendation at this point would be to end our care coordination contracts with UCare and Medica and realign work duties for those 4.5 FTE to meet our unmet mandated service requirements.
And this, as far as the human services budget for 2026, it doesn't increase it, it actually decreases it by about 57,000.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any more questions for?
I don't.
Mr. Chair, so I don't understand a lot of what you guys were talking about, the acronyms and stuff, but, so it says in here 125 days, you're giving 125 days notice. So who is going to be, we're cutting ties with these organizations. Who are the organizations we're going to go with? Or are we going to do that ourselves, or how does that work in 125 days?
So we would just no longer be doing care coordination. Those plans are still here in the county. They're not leaving as a medical provider. It will just be somebody else will be doing the care coordination
After 100.
after we're done with our contractual obligation, the 125-day notice.
In our 125-day period, we may look at what, like in public health, as we have enrollments, some of them are froze right now. We might, and one of the products is just not going to be offered anymore. We might see some of that work dwindle down so we can start shifting one of our FTEs into one of those.
So who is going to be doing the work in 125 days if we are not going to be doing the work?
We'll have to do it during the 125
Right.
days. Yeah.
After that?
Yeah, after that, it'll, like I said, it'll either be UCare itself.
See, they were paying us to do it.
Right,
So
or
now we're
Medica
not-
will do
and
it
we- And now
themselves.
the revenues went down, so we're gonna be losing money doing it, so we're not gonna do it. So they'll do it themselves.
They'll do it themselves, or
internally.
they enter into additional contracts. Like UCare has an RFP out right now, so a number of different entities applied to enter into contracts. I haven't heard for sure, Essentia does, Essentia does quite a bit of care coordination.
Well, I'm sure nobody likes change, so this will affect some people negatively, I'm sure.
It is difficult.
They will have to alter who they're seeing and how they're
They
getting
will.
those services.
But they'll still get the services. Though.
Yeah.
But
So that's the key thing.
And it is a tough decision. I mean, at the end of the day, I would advocate, and I know Amanda would too, our care coordinators do an amazing job. Do you get a better service potentially having somebody right here locally versus somebody down in the metro helping you over the telephone? Likely. But it just has really gotten to the point where somebody else can do that work. Somebody else can't do the other mandated work that we need to do.
So in these two agreements to terminate, do we have how are we transitioning the employees? I mean, is that automatic? Are we doing that internally and we don't have to do any adjustments or?
Reassignment of duties.
Yeah, it would be the same.
So we don't have to put it out for?
No.
Correct. They're all social workers and nurses. They're at the same, their job duties will just be.
So their internal transition will
Yes,
be in the next 125 days? Then?
yes.
Okay. I just, you want to make sure they're taken care of too.
Can we do these resolutions at the same time?
I would think you'd want to do them separately.
Yeah.
Because they got different.
They're two separate.
Do we have a motion to approve Resolution 2I?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2I.
I'll second.
Motion by Erica, second by Phil. Do we have any discussion on 2I? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Now, do we have a motion for Resolution 2J?
So moved.
Second.
Erica and Phil, do we have any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for all your hard
Good job.
work
Thank you.
and making it
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, awesome. All right, let's go move on to human resource.
Mr. Chair, one thing, you mentioned Rory Beal at the beginning. What is, I know him, what is he doing?
The Health Promotions Director in Clay County,
Oh, did not know that.
Clay County Public Health.
Thank you.
No, no wheel,
Yeah,
no
no
wheel.
wheelchair.
today.
No wheel,
No
no
wheels
wheel.
today. Nope, I'm walking, so we're working through
No
it.
wheel.
The one item that I have in front of you today is the memorandum of agreement for the ASME union. This is the last union to sign the MOA for the 50/50 split of premiums for PFML that goes into effect 1/1 of '26.
Motion to approve, accept.
All right, we have a motion by Barry to approve the ASME contract MOU. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Erica. Do we have any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
It's not on the agenda.
I know,
sir.
but I just added it.
You can do that, Mr. Chair.
Because I have.
No
to-
break for you.
I have to do something.
Some stuff.
Yeah. let's come back to our meeting. Let's go with Jim. Jim is ready to go, so.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. We have 3 contracts that we're seeking final payment and acceptance on. The first project is our milled rumble strip project with Allstate Pavement. They've completed their work satisfactorily, and we're recommending final payment in the amount of $2,688.99.
I really question that dollar amount. That's very low. Why, I mean, that final payment, why is that so low?
Prices have come down significantly.
Isn't it usually 10%, the final payment?
Thought it was 5.
5% usually. Yep. And I don't know, maybe that's even lower. If the contract's done, like on the next one, sometimes we reduce it to 2.5%, if it carries over a year and we've accepted their work. But for $45,000, I guess, I don't know, isn't that 5%?
Yeah, that's,
About 2,000? Yeah.
that's fine. How did the engineer's estimate get to be so far off on these?
Mr. Chair, I asked this question
I mean, that's.
Jim
I mean,
yesterday.
and it was a good off, but I mean.
3 years ago.
Well, these federal contracts, when we apply and provide our estimates, take a long time to get approved or delivered or, get through the federal system. So probably 3 years ago, the prices were this high, but there've become more contractors and they've purchased the equipment now to do these rumble stripes, so it's more competitive.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the rest of them too. But, anyway, I just found it highly unusual. The engineer's estimate was on these 3 contracts was significantly higher than the actual cost, which was good because we got a better deal than what we were thinking. But if the cost would have been actual close to engineer's estimate, I don't think we could have afforded to do it looking at our 5-year plan. So, but that's my question. I'll make a motion to approve.
Make a
2D.
Motion approved by Barry for 2D. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Phil. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, Jim.
Second contract under Resolution 2F is a project on County Road 34 with Drew's Engineering. This was the grading portion of the work that was performed 2 years ago. That work was completed and satisfactory, and we're requesting final payment in the amount of $76,278.
Mr. Chair, Jim, I didn't ask this the other day. What you said 2 years. Why is this 2 years late? Or
We have to wait for the contractor to submit their gravel taxes. Sometimes there's restoration work that they need to do on private property where they've, obtained gravel and that. The work was completed late in 2023 or whatever, and it's just taken that long. It depends upon how quickly the contractor responds and gets all their paperwork put together.
Wasn't this the project also that we had to delay a year because of some lady slippers or bats or something? I know that's like 2 very different things.
Lady
but there
slippers,
was some,
bats.
like, endangered species or something that we had to.
It takes a while, but
Yeah.
they have to do the clearing during, for the bats, like after, in November and over the
Yeah.
winter, and that has to be completed before, I think it's like April 15th or something like that, yeah.
Motion approved 2F.
All right, so a motion by Barry for 2F. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All
That
right,
was for F,
2F.
not I.
it's F. That one was F.
This is F.
And
Nice try. Go ahead, sorry, Jim.
our third and final contract is with R.L. Larson. This is County Road 30 in the city of Frazee, from the bridge over to Trunk Highway 87. This too was completed in 2023. At the end of the year, we did have a carryover of some work They had to do a patch because there was some failing pavement, so they completed that. Or they completed that early this year, I guess it was. So it was last year's project. I apologize, yep. But anyways, we're looking for final payment in the amount of $36,292.
Motion approved 2E.
So we have a motion by Barry to approve 2E. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Phil. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
Everybody have a question for Jim? All right. Kevin for transit.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
I just have one item, Resolution 2G. It's requesting to get a engine replaced on the 2022 transit bus. The estimate is between 57 and 6,000. That's a pretty solid estimate.
That's
Is
really
Ford-
reasonable.
Ford is paying half, 60% of it.
Yeah.
50.
Or they are,
They're
that's why it's so
paying-
cheap.
That's just our percentage. Why are they
55%.
paying? Why are they paying? It's out of warranty. Are they, it's too close
Just
to warranty?
complaining. I mean, I've contacted the Ford Pro Group who handles these type of issues. There was a recall issued in 2024 that I feel directly caused this engine to fail. They don't call it a recall. Since it wasn't called a recall, they call it customer satisfaction. They won't cover the whole engine. Honestly, they weren't going to cover any of the engine. It just took a lot of correspondence back and forth and phone calls, and they agreed to pay 55%. So,
Well, good job.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
good
Well, they
job,
should be
lucky.
paying the
I don't
whole
know.
They should be paying for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's got 66,000 miles on it and the warranty runs out at 60.
67,080 miles is what it went in at. The warranty was over at 60,000.
Yeah.
The new more,
But we were having some issues before 60,000 too. That's why we made the
yep,
point that they should,
at 45,000 and some odd miles, it went in for that customer service issue where they dealt with it. But, you know, there again, I felt at 45,000 miles, the damage was
Done.
75, 80% done.
Mhm.
But Ford doesn't see it that way. And I mentioned maybe we need to go out on the route of hiring an attorney, and they just closed the case and said, we're done. There's no more conversation back and forth, so.
Well, we got something, which is better than, I mean, you have a chance to win it, but are we going to expend the expense to go any farther? And
time and money.
Resources.
Yeah.
And they got, I think Ford Motor Company probably has a lawyer on staff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they, you know, right when I mentioned the lawyer, I swear the lady was on the email keying me the address to send my letter and where the lawyer can contact in Dearborn, Michigan. It was like almost instantaneous.
Like-
so.
Well, that's kind of my response. When someone says they're suing, or I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I have no more communication.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve Resolution 1025 2G.
All right, so we have a motion by Phil. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Barry. Any more discussion?
Kevin, so this is the only bus that's down right now?
No, we have a transmission that we're in bus 1, which is a 2015, that we believe is going to be trash. We're replacing a solenoid in it right now, and I don't think that's going to solve it. So, but we're in a bind because normally the 2015 would have been replaced. The useful life of a bus by the state's, own goals are 7 years and 150,000 miles. Obviously that's a 2015, so we're talking 10 years, and it's got 184,000 miles and some odd. So, but the state is so far behind on replacing buses, and even to compound that now with what's going on with funding and stuff from the federal government, we kind of lost a window there, I feel, by the state to replace some of these older buses, because now it's getting harder for the state to get federal money to replace buses out of their useful life. So, how they're going to address this, I'm going to be on a call today. And Phil, did you get that?
220.
Yeah.
I'll be on it.
That's something I'm going to bring up with them and ask, how are you going to address this fact? Are we just going to keep putting all this? I mean, because this transmission's probably going to be $5,000, $4,500. Time we get labor in, it's going to be over $5,000. And luckily the guys at the county shop are going to be able to do this one. So we don't have to farm it out. So we'll, instead of paying $185 an hour for labor, we'll pay, what the going rate is there is about 55, so.
We've talked with Jim Joy about the funding mechanism here. We've got this meeting with the state this afternoon that we've set up, Kevin knows his numbers really well and can explain why these things don't work. Kevin does a good job, saves some money to buy a new bus, and they don't give us federal money because they say, oh, you have money over here. Well, and now we don't have buses, we don't have anything. So you reward failure, and in Kevin's case, he's trying to run a successful program here, and they don't fund it.
Penalized.
Gets penalized.
Penalized when you are fiscally responsible.
All right.
All right, so we have a motion and a second for 2G. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Right, motion carries. All right, board. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Steve, let's come. Land use and environmental services.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Carrie, Peggy. We're almost on time, so.
I know.
Take that bathroom break, you would.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't necessary.
Before you got resolution 1025-2H is the solid waste tip fee schedule for 2026. We increased basically tip fees to cover solid waste disposal. So costs are going up.
The one I saw that I found a little unusual is you increased it to what, $13.75? I mean, why don't we just, I don't know.
Some of them we're trying to do is get them so they round to an even number. So when the clerks are processing things, it comes to an even number. So you,
$13.75 is not an even number.
well, which one is it? I mean,
It's,
I don't see a 1375.
don't remember if I saw it 13.
I can look.
I looked through it and I didn't see a 13.
I don't know, I see it both ways.
Okay.
I see we're trying to keep the lowest cost we can for
There's a 375.
our customers, but
the other thing that we changed was how we're,
Maybe it's $3.75 per tire rather.
for tires. Yeah.
And then
I changed how we're billing for recyclable commodities.
375?
$3.
So it's going to be based on a stop fee plus an amount for the amount picked up. So if they pick up glass, for example, it costs us money to get rid of the stuff. It's still cheaper than landfilling it, but that cost, we can charge it on a per cubic yard then and have a collection fee on top of that. So then if the customer decides to bring it in, our transfer station staff can charge them just the charge amount for the volume that they're bringing in. Just makes it a lot cleaner.
Yep.
how's the new truck running?
Good, we just got it all stickered yesterday or 2 days ago.
Okay. What, now, that 2010, we're going to get rid of that. Is that gone yet? Or
It's not gone, it's still sitting there. We'll
well, what's the plan for that?
have to get rid of it.
Like, just sell it as is or scrap or what?
It's probably getting to a point where it's just scrap, because there is not much left in that. It's rusted out, pretty tough shape.
All right, getting back to solid waste fee schedule, I'll move to approve resolution 1025-2H.
So we have
I'll
a
second.
motion by Phil, second by Richard. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Do we have any more for good of the order? All right, Yep.
We did say, so, that, when we did our work session, we talked about STS, right? So what was our conclusion with STS?
As I understand it, the conclusion was is that we would not continue with STS, that we would be looking at moving that funding to Parks and Rec.
Recreation, okay,
Which is in progress right now. That's what our descriptions and needs. with the
correct.
department.
That's what I understood too. ICWIC was a separate issue.
correct.
Correct, that's what I understood too. And we are working on a backup for Roger. Okay, all right. And last thing, wake boats. Is there something coming on that? Or I heard Erica talk a little bit. Those same people did call me and there was some discussion.
Yes, and so when I spoke about my discussion with the three lake associations, I think probably Commissioner Jepson probably had similar conversations, and it's really just to provide information. So what I had informed them is to perhaps reach out to, and I think you said the same, individual commissioners to provide the information, and what I would expect is that they'll come back before this board in the future to gauge whether or not there's support from this board to then move forward.
Okay, they did call me. I said, send me all the information. I've got their study for the U of M. They asked me what the other commissioners, how they were going to vote, and I did not speak for any of you. And I said, I can't even speak for myself yet. But, okay, so we're in an information gathering process then, but that, we do anticipate that coming back.
We are, and just for clarification, since we're on this topic, when I spoke about this in the process before, in the article, sorry, Nate, an article that came out, there was, they were talking about bringing forth, their proposed ordinance, but really a lot of work needs to go into the packet the DNR requires of collection of information. And that's really what I was speaking to before this, before they actually go through and collect all of that information, because it has to be submitted by the county on behalf of them. So I would expect that they'll come back before this board before they actually put that packet together for the DNR to again gauge whether there's support from this board to move it forward.
So it's got to come through this board first.
As this a non-topic on our agenda, are
Yep.
we adjourned?
Yes, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
But you can still talk.
Well,
So that will have,
you got to be careful what you talk
Yeah,
about.
Yeah.
that will have to come back to county board.
That's what I recommend.
before. Okay.